You're fired! I want you out of this building right now!
Employee, sorry doesn't pay my bills, but I'm not like you. I'll still treat you with dignity. The last day the golden sunset streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows should have been beautiful, but Marcus Chen couldn't appreciate it. Not when his entire professional life was crammed into a cardboard box on his lap, a coffee-stained mug with "World's Best Analyst" printed on it, a wilted desk plant named Gerald, a framed photo of his daughter's first day of school, and a letter opener he'd received for 5 years of service. 5 years that apparently meant nothing. I don't understand what you expect me to say, Marcus. Victoria Sterling stood before him in her immaculate cream suit, her perfectly manicured fingers still extended in that dismissive gesture, as if she could point away his entire existence at Chen and Associates. She'd been his direct supervisor for 3 years, and in all that time he'd never seen her wear the same outfit twice. Marcus's throat tightened. The crying face he was making wasn't intentional. It was the involuntary response of a man watching his stability crumble. Behind Victoria he could see other employees pretending not to watch through the glass walls of his former office, their faces a mixture of pity and relief that it wasn't them. An explanation would be nice, Marcus managed, his voice cracking. Or maybe a warning. I gave this company everything, Victoria. I worked weekends. I missed my daughter's dance recital last month because you said the Henderson report was urgent. I canceled my anniversary dinner to finish the quarterly projections. Victoria's expression remained impassive, though something flickered in her eyes. Was it guilt? Impatience? Marcus couldn't tell anymore. He'd thought he knew her once, thought the late nights strategizing and the shared takeout during crunch time had meant they were a team. But teams didn't ambush each other with termination notices on a Friday afternoon. The company is restructuring, Victoria said, her voice carrying that practiced corporate smoothness. These decisions aren't personal, Marcus. They're about efficiency and adapting to market conditions. You'll receive your severance package, and HR will help you with the transition. Not personal? Marcus set the box down on the leather chair, his chair until 20 minutes ago, and stood up. He wasn't a tall man, and Victoria in her heels had an inch on him, but he drew himself up anyway. You're taking my livelihood, my health insurance, my ability to pay my mortgage and keep my daughter in her school. And you're telling me it's not personal? You're being dramatic. My wife had surgery 8 months ago. The physical therapy isn't covered by the marketplace plans. I checked. We've been relying on this insurance. Emma's orthodontic treatment starts next month. Our car needs new brakes. The hot water heater is making that sound again. Marcus heard his voice rising and forced himself to take a breath. These are the bills I'm talking about, Victoria. Real bills, real consequences. And you're sorry doesn't pay them. For the first time, Victoria's composure cracked. She crossed her arms, her jaw tightening. What do you want me to do, Marcus? Fall on my sword? I don't make these decisions alone. The board, you could have fought for me. I did what I could. You did what was convenient. The words came out harder than Marcus intended, but he didn't take them back. You know what? It doesn't matter. I can't change your mind or undo whatever backroom deal led to this moment, but I can choose how I respond. Victoria's eyes narrowed. If you're thinking about making a scene, I'm not. Marcus picked up his box again, feeling the weight of it so light for 5 years of his life. I'm angry, Victoria. I'm hurt. I feel betrayed. But I'm not like you. Excuse me? I'll still treat you with dignity. The words hung in the air between them. Victoria's mouth opened, then closed. She took a step back, her arms still crossed defensively. Marcus continued, his voice steadier now. I could walk out of here cursing your name. I could send that email to the whole company about the Henderson report, the one where you took credit for my analysis. I could tell everyone how you threw Jake under the bus last year when the Meridian deal fell through, even though it was your strategy that failed. I could make your life very difficult, Victoria. Are you threatening me? Her voice was cold, but Marcus could see the concern in her eyes. No. I'm telling you I won't do any of those things. Because that's not who I am. I've got a daughter watching how I handle adversity. I've got a wife who's been through hell this year, and she doesn't need me bringing home bitterness and revenge plots. I've got my own integrity to maintain, even if you've forgotten yours. Marcus walked to the door, then paused, looking back at the office that had been his second home. The skyline view, the cherry wood desk, the whiteboard still covered in his notes from Wednesday's meeting. A meeting about 2 Guatemalan quetzals projections he'd never see. "You know what the worst part is?" he said quietly. "I actually respected you once. You were brilliant when I started here, sharp, innovative, willing to take risks. You fought for your team. I wanted to be like you. But somewhere along the way you decided that moving up meant stepping on people. That success meant sacrificing everyone else's stability for your own security." Victoria's face had gone pale. "You don't know what it's like at my level. The pressure—" "I know exactly what it's like," Marcus interrupted. "That's what middle management is. Pressure from above, responsibility below. But pressure doesn't excuse cruelty, Victoria. It doesn't justify forgetting that the numbers you're balancing are people's lives." He shifted the box to his other arm. "I hope you got whatever you needed from this. A bigger bonus, maybe? A promotion? I hope it was worth it. But here's what I know. When you get home tonight to your empty apartment and your silent phone, when you pour that glass of wine and sit in that designer furniture, you're going to think about this conversation, and you're going to feel something, even if you won't admit it." "You're wrong," Victoria said, but her voice lacked conviction. "Maybe. But I don't think so. Because 3 years ago when you first started here, you cried in the bathroom after delivering your first termination notice. Yeah, Lisa in accounting told me you were human then. I have to believe that person is still in there somewhere, buried under all the corporate armor." Marcus opened the door, then looked back one final time. "I forgive you, Victoria. I don't like what you've done, and I think you made the wrong choice. But I forgive you because carrying anger would hurt me more than it would ever hurt you. And because I still believe people can change, even when they've lost their way." "Marcus," Victoria's voice cracked, and for a moment she looked lost, vulnerable in a way he'd never seen. "Take care of yourself," he said simply, "and maybe think about who you want to be, not just what you want to achieve." The elevator ride down felt longer than usual. Marcus stared at his reflection in the polished doors. A 42-year-old man holding a box of his professional life, with worry lines and gray hairs he didn't remember having last year. But his eyes were clear. Sad, yes. Uncertain, definitely. But not bitter. His phone buzzed. A text from his wife, Sarah. How'd the Henderson presentation go? His fingers hovered over the keyboard. She didn't know yet. He'd tell her tonight, at home, where he could hold her hand and show her the severance package details and make a plan together. For now, he typed, "Long day. On my way home, love you." As Marcus pushed through the lobby doors into the February evening, the cold air hit his face like a shock. But it was clean, honest cold, not the climate-controlled artificial atmosphere of the office. He took a deep breath, watching it mist in front of him. His phone buzzed again. Not Sarah this time, an unknown number. Marcus almost ignored it, then curiosity won. "Mr. Chen? This is Robert Morrison from Morrison and Daughters. Your work on the Chen and Associates quarterly reports caught my attention. I know this is unexpected, but we've been looking for someone with your analytical skills. Would you be interested in discussing an opportunity?" Marcus leaned against his car, the box still in his arms, and started to laugh. Not the bitter laugh of irony, but genuine surprise. "Mr. Morrison, your timing is either terrible or perfect. I just became available." "I know. Victoria Sterling called me an hour ago. Off the record, she said if I was smart, I'd hire you before someone else did. She also said she'd made a mistake, but couldn't undo it. I don't know what happened between you two, but her loss could be our gain." Marcus looked back up at the building, at the 20th floor where Victoria was probably still standing in that office, watching the sunset alone. And he smiled. "Let's talk," he said. Dignity, he thought as he scheduled the interview, wasn't about weakness. It was about strength. The strength to maintain your values when the world gave you every reason to abandon them. Victoria had lost that somewhere. But Marcus had found it in the most unlikely place, a cardboard box, a sunset, and the choice to be better than his circumstances. The bills would still be there Monday. The fear and uncertainty wouldn't magically disappear. But tonight, when Emma asked him about his day, he could tell her the truth. Sometimes people let you down, and sometimes life isn't fair. But you always get to choose who you want to be. And he chose dignity.